Welcome to Bemovation, where beauty meets motivation. I'm Noluthando, the advocate of self-love. Today, I have an amazing guest. I love her so much because she is such a fighter. She is such a resilient spirit, and I'm 100% sure that by the time you are done watching this episode, you are going to feel compelled to stand up for yourself, to show up for your life, and to fight for what you believe in. Her name is Lorraine Khoza. She is the founder of the Lorraine Khoza Foundation. She is a gender specialist. She also holds an honors degree in gender studies. I'm going to let her share the rest of her accolades herself. She's here. Lorraine Khoza, welcome to Bemovation.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I introduced you and I just shared a snippet, of all the amazing things that you are. But can you please share your other accolades?
Okay, I am a lot of things. As mentioned, I am the founder of the Lorraine Khoza Foundation. We've been in existence for 5 years. I can't believe time flew by so fast. But yeah, I am also, I serve in the South African Youth Council as a head of gender there, and also the Treasurer General there. I have quite a number of things that I do, but mostly I am a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a wife. I'm just a girl
who is doing amazing things. I know she's being cutesy, she's being demure. Lorraine, I know that your journey has been extremely challenging, and the main thing that I would like to unpack today and to ensure that the viewers at home walk away with is how you turned your tragedy, how you turned something unfortunate into, your power. And so many people will go through things at home. So many people go through things in life and feel this is it, I'm done, or just give up. And the reason why I wanted you to be, to be here to share your journey is because I know it will give hope to somebody. And I don't want to dwell too much on really what happened, but it is a matter of where it's a situation where you were, assaulted, you were kidnapped, you were assaulted, and you had to fight. You had to fight for yourself.
Yeah.
Can you just take us from that point on?
Okay. I think it's quite unfortunate that sometimes we meet our most powerful selves or what we never even had an idea of becoming because of unfortunate circumstances like what I had to go through. So just to take you back, or maybe also let the viewers in on how we are here today. When I was 17 years old, I had just gotten to varsity. I was looking for accommodation. Well, in South Africa, we know that we do have universities that have their campuses in the township, but we also do know that institutions of higher learning are facing quite a crisis when it comes to accommodation. Hence, we have private accommodation. So in the township, you can imagine students need to go and look for accommodation in the very township so that at least they're closer to the school. Because so at the time when I had just gotten into varsity, there was not enough accommodation and I was put on the waiting list. So obviously I had to find a place, which I did, but it was a bit further from school, meaning that I was most likely to miss my 8 o'clock classes because it's either I'm taking a taxi or I'm walking, but one way or the other, it's still, a bit far. So I could not keep up. I ended up sourcing for other accommodation. And whilst I was doing that, the lady at whose house I stayed at, because when we were looking for accommodation, I was with my mom. So she had sort of like gotten used to my mom. She was like, oh, so you're looking for accommodation so that you can get out of this house because I know your mom and do what these Pretoria girls do. And I'm young, I'm 17, I don't know anyone. I just got to Garampo. I just arrived. So now I'm panicking, I'm crying, and I'm walking out of the house. And whilst walking out of the house, I want to call my sister. There's this man who sees me crying.
Yes.
And I mean, stranger danger, who doesn't know that? I never speak to strangers. But he kept following and he's asking, why are you crying? What's going on? I end up just, letting him in on what's happening.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, he's like, don't worry about it. I have a house. I stay with my girlfriend. You can come. I can help you look for accommodation around because I'm from here. And then from there onwards, we'll see what happens. So he takes me to specific places. And then obviously there's nothing there. And then he's like, you know what? Because this lady is saying you need to be out of her house, I have a place. I can take you there whilst you call your mom to organize, whatever that she needs to organize for tomorrow. And then so he takes me to his house. When I get there, there's no one, there's nothing. He locks me in.
Sure.
He leaves. Now I'm panicking. I don't know where this place is. I don't know what I'm going to do. I send a message to my aunt who at the time stayed here in Johannesburg.
Yes.
And then I tell my sister, I'm at this place. I don't know where it's at, but I don't feel safe. And this guy said 1, 2, 3. And you know what? Fast forward, he comes back. And then that's when the whole thing started. He was forcing to sleep with me. And I was obviously saying, take everything of mine. I know it's at night. I'll run away. I'll do whatever. And he forced himself. He started beating me up, kicking me up, took a gun and said, you are going to do what I'm telling you to do. And you know what happened afterwards. Yeah. And I'm going to get it together. So in the morning, I had to come up with a plan. Like I told him, I want to shower. I know if I tell him I want to take a shower, he's going to let his guard down. Yes. Because he obviously knows that I'm messing up with, the DNA stuff. And then I went and I just texted my aunt. I told her, this is what had just happened. I don't know where I am. I don't know if I sent my location or what, but I remember what happened. So I told her, this is what's happening. Call the police. I know I'm in Garankuwa 1, 2, 3. Don't reply. Yes. And after that, when the guy woke up, he said, I asked that, can I please go get like sanitary pads? Yes. Because I thought if he allows me to go out, I can run.
You can run.
And then he was like, actually, no. You're not going anywhere. I'm gonna go get a car and we're fetching your stuff and you'll see where you have to go. And when he did that, he forgot the keys. That is how I was able to escape. Oh. And luckily there was a lady outside waiting with her son for a transport to school. And I just ran into her house. I gave her my phone, I just told her, call the last number that I dialed, which was my aunt's number. She was able to tell her, this is where we are, and my aunt was able to call the police. So whilst they were calling the police, he comes back and he sees that I'm at the lady's house. He starts throwing my stuff in. When the police van came, he took off. He ran away. I was rushed to the hospital, all of that, taken to the police station, and that's when the other thing that started the court proceedings that took 10 years.
And we'll get to that because it wasn't just a matter of you escaping and that was that. Yeah. You then were introduced to almost, we can say, like a new life because you still had to fight. Yeah. Lorraine, what I want to understand and what I'd like us to unpack, that then happens. And I'm terribly sorry that happened to you. And I am super proud of you for choosing to become the voice that you now are for women and victims of gender-based violence. What did you decide after that whole thing? Like, how did you end up deciding that, you know what, because of that situation, because of that man actually kidnapping me and deciding to just play God with my life, I'm going to decide XYZ. What was it that you decided for you to be the Lorraine that you are today?
So when I went to varsity, I had a dream of becoming an internal auditor. I've always been good with numbers from high school. I've always been passionate about it. Yes. But one thing that I actually realized, I think a few years ago, was that, you know, when they ask you when you're a little girl, what do you want to be? I remember in grade 3, I've always said, I want to be a businesswoman. Yes. I've always known that I wanted to be a businesswoman, but I got to high school and I enjoyed economics. I enjoyed this and that. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to pursue the internal auditing route. Yes. So I go to varsity. I'm excited about that. And then the ordeal happens and it changes everything. It changes everything. I also have no idea how I was even able to, because I did finish my
Yes,
degree in
you
record time.
did. Wow.
And I got into like extracurricular activities. I got into leadership stuff. I was in the SRC. I was in the Student Faculty Council. I did this, I did that, I did that. I was such a busy person. And still dealing with that, because something like that changes your life forever. I don't wish it on anyone. It's the most painful thing that you have to live with. And I understand why some people would want to give up. It can take a toll on you, because 1 minute you're okay, you're living your life, and then the next thing you see, a color triggers you. You see this, you see that, you see a man, and already when you see a man and you're walking, you're thinking, is he going to do? So it just changes everything. You always have your head over your shoulders, looking over your shoulders to see if no one is going to do this and that. And then so at night you have nightmares, you think about it, it flashbacks, it's and it doesn't get better. You just learn to live with it. So I continue at school. I remember immediately after it happened and I was taken to the hospital and I had to be taken to school. They gave me accommodation, which also raises a concern. And I think maybe that's also where the activism, started. Because what do you mean something terrible has to happen in order for you to give me accommodation? It means that this place or space has always been there. You just withheld it for whatever reasons known to you, which is unfair, because how many more students should go through that for them to get space into the residences, So yeah, that happens. I'm in that very 2015, I'm now into the residence committee. I contest. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I contest. I get in. I'm the maintenance officer. The following year, I'm now running the branch in the South African Student Congress. I'm now the secretary of the branch. They deploy me. They say, they nominate me to go to contest Student Faculty Council. I'm doing this. I'm still busy with my degree. I'm doing fine. It's great. But now, little by little, it's changing. I know I'm doing internal auditing, but do I really still want to be an internal auditor? And then 2016, this guy violates another student at Sifako Mahato Health University. Only then do the police come to me to ask me if I want to proceed with the case, when I never ever communicated that I'm withdrawing or doing anything. That was where I thought, there's something wrong, because why does it have to happen to someone else for them to pursue the case? And then that's when I started going to court in 2016. So I'm attending court and I'm still here at school doing all of these things. So like I'm saying, getting into these things is now changing who I think I want to be. Yes, I would have loved to be an internal auditor, but now the focus is changing. I feel like I need to do something. I can't complain like everyone. I don't like complaining. I'm a person that wants to get things done. Let's get it done. Let's see if we can't find a solution to this and that. And then fast forward, go to the SRC, finish my internal auditing. When I graduated, I remember in my 4th year, when I finished, I never applied anywhere in corporate. I never looked for an internship. I decided there and then. I was set. I knew from the bottom of my heart that I needed to start something that is going to advocate for the marginalized, being people like me, black women from the rural areas, black women from wherever, who do not have the necessary resources or that public image. Because if a celebrity goes through something like that, their case is publicized and 1, 2, 3, it's done.
Something
if a politician's child or whoever, someone prominent goes through something, they are very quick to solve it. But what about that person who is not known by anyone in the township? Who fights for that person? And that was me. Who was going to fight for me? I had to fight for myself.
You had to stand up.
And then that's how the Lorraine Khoza Foundation was born.
And this is exactly what I mean when I say that things happen. Life is bound to happen. And if you look at it with the spiritual eye, there are systems and things put in place to actually just kill us even before we lived. I mean, you were 17 years old. That was enough to have actually caused you to say, you know what, I'm going to take my own life. And actually, you know what, I don't want to continue with school. And actually, you know what, I'll just be an alcoholic. And not that if anyone goes through something tragic and they don't have the strength that there's anything wrong with them, no. But it just goes to show that even spiritually, there are certain things that are designed to actually get us, get us off the course. But you fought and you found a voice and you decided, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight not only for myself, but for others. So you then decide that you're going to open up a foundation. Please take us through that.
So 2019, I had just graduated. I'm like, no, I'm not going to corporate.
Yeah.
Not going to be an internal auditor. I'm so grateful for the 4 years, because in that 4 years, I got exposed to a lot of things I know I needed to be in varsity.
Yes.
I met, amazing people. I met my husband there.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing things. I met amazing friends. I created lifelong friendships. I still know the people, my comrades that I met there. We are now, all of us have just, gotten into different spaces, but the connection is still there. And I'm like, okay, the Lorraine Khoza Foundation, the slogan or the tagline is find your voice, find your power. Because as soon as I knew that I needed to do something, as soon as I found that voice, I knew I had found my power.
Yes.
Nothing was going to stop me, not that man, not those flashbacks, because we are not our encounters. And also, no one goes out there and say, rape me. No one chooses for unforeseen circumstances to happen to them, so they cannot be. We cannot, like, our image cannot be about what happened to us.
100%.
It's either you allow that thing to consume you, or you find your voice and you find your power.
Sure.
And I was like, you know what? We are starting the Lorraine Khoza Foundation. I have no idea how to run a non-profit organization, but I know this is exactly what I needed to do. And I'm so sad and hurt that, my activism in that regard was triggered by what happened to me. But maybe, you know what? People say different things, and I don't believe that we need to go through terrible times for us to find who we are.
True.
But sometimes these things,
the pain, it sharpens you. It just unearths you, it breaks you, and it brings up a new version of yourself.
Exactly.
Do you feel that a new version of yourself was birthed after that whole ordeal?
I think so, because I can tell you one thing, I'm not scared of anything. I'm not afraid of anything. I tell people this all the time. I'm not, and not because what's the worst that could happen, to be honest, but because I know that I've gotten out of a very dark place. I'm here today speaking about it, having a conversation with you. I'm not even crying.
Yes.
And, sometimes I do cry about it because, it's something that happened to me and it was painful. But I've realized that there is nothing I cannot do.
Yes.
There is absolutely nothing I cannot do. And that happened, and I found that new version of me who understands as herself, who knows who she is because of that, terrible encounter that happened. But back to the Lorraine Khoza Foundation. We then start the Lorraine Khoza Foundation, set up the board, set up the vision and mission, know what we need to do, register, do everything, and we hit the ground running.
You hit the ground
running. No
running.
funding, nothing. But I had the message. I had the voice.
Yes.
And that is all I needed. I still have the voice today, and that is all that I need. We started doing the work in just the first day. Like, people would be so shocked to learn that at the time, you're just a year old, but the impact
that you
was
made,
huge. Because also I remember the first time I shared my story, it got like 80,000 likes on Facebook. People all over the world were reaching out. And
I was one of those people that
and I'm like,
I was like, what a warrior. You are such a warrior. You are such a fighter. You're so resilient. And this is why. Can you see why I wanted to have her on the Brave relationship? Because she's one of those people that even has taught me that, your pain must, if you can, turn it into power.
Yeah.
I know someone at home who's gone through either something similar or just something unfortunate, which is something that happens with almost everyone in the world, will ask, but Lorraine, how long will it take for me to feel this power? How long will it take for me to feel I can find my voice? Because as people, we process things and we even heal differently. You'll find that sometimes someone who's encountered something 12 years ago is still struggling to just find their voice. What can you say to them? How long did it take for you? How did you process everything? What are the things the measures that you took into place for you to say, this is who I am now, despite what has happened, I'm moving forward?
Can I tell you that till date, I'm still learning to, be okay with a person having done that to me. Because it doesn't just go away. It's been how many years? It's been almost 10 years.
Yes.
And I still get hurt. I still cry about it. I still, get triggered. I still watch over my back, But if a person took that away from me physically, I can never allow them to take more from me. You can't have my entire life. Yes, you took from me, but you can, I cannot surrender my life to what you did to me, and I just sit and wait. So I had to forgive myself, and not because I had done something, because I had to make myself understand that I did not choose for this to happen to me. And because I did not choose for it to happen to me, I need to find ways to live, to see the sun again, because this thing can consume you, and when it consumes you, it's so toxic, everything becomes dark. You lock yourself in the room, crying yourself to sleep. Until when? Do I not deserve joy? Do I not deserve to go outside and actually look at the world and think that, you know what, today I can go to the shops. Today I can actually read a book. Today I can actually start that business that I want to start. A person having done that to you, it has to stop there. Them having physically, from there, don't give them your power. Wow. Do not give them, they can't take your life. They've taken that little thing, but you owe it to yourself to dust yourself up and move on. When I say we are not our encounters, I'm not just saying it because it's probably nice to say. We really are not the things that we go through. Unfortunately, life happens to, like you said, to a lot of us. But what sets you and the rest of the people apart, and not that there's something wrong with the other people whose pain has consumed them for long, but what sets you apart is that you actually decide today that it ends here. I am a person, I deserve joy, I deserve to live, I deserve to be happy, I deserve to pursue my dreams, and then you go for it. You don't have to have everything figured out. You take things a day, literally. You forget about yesterday. If the pain is still here today, we'll deal with it today, but we can't think what if the pain is still there tomorrow? You deal with tomorrow when you get to tomorrow. We are here today. If I woke up feeling very motivated, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to type that thing. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to register for that cause. But if today I feel like, I need to go, shame, and you know what? Allow yourself to go up, but come back,
See, this is why I love her. I love the fact that you say, whatever a person has done, whatever injustice, whatever wrong, it stops there.
Yeah.
From this point, I take over.
Yeah.
From this point on, I take over. And the thing is, the most interesting part about your journey is that it did not only end with the event, it did not only end with, out of that, I'd say, mishap with the police where they did not step up to the plate. You then had to still follow through with this case for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And let me not even be the one to tell it. Only last week, was it 2 weeks back?
Yeah, 2 weeks
So
back.
you actually get to
Yes.
a sentencing. And this is the picture of literally what happens to most cases of GBV in our country.
True. That is very true. And it's quite unfortunate because between the incident happening and you reporting it, and then you being called to court, and then the process then unfolds. A lot of people, and not because they choose to. Do you know how painful it is walking to court and seeing your perpetrator do that to you and denying everything that they've done to you? You having to face them, you having to cry every day, you having to relive the moment, but you're like, I'm not going to give up because justice must prevail. And honestly, I don't even know why I get this fighting spirit, but I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. I do not play games. I don't play about me. I will never. I'm not that person.
And you were there. You went to
every single court case.
Every delay for 10 years.
For 10 years. Do you know how many postponements the way I had to travel from home, from Mpumalanga coming to Garangwa every day, every day when there's a court date and they're telling you the court case is postponed. This guy was allowed out on bail. He went out there, violated another woman, missed court. He was living large, missed court, bumped into him twice. Had I not been with other, because he knew where I studied, he was from around the area, the university is from where he is from. I remember there was a time at Shisanyama where, because some of my comrades would go to court with me, and they're like, hey, he takes off. At the butchery one time, he was there. Nuku, my husband, I remember we're at work, he was getting the meat, I was getting the veggies, and he sees him follow me behind, and he rushes and then he takes off. So do you see that not only did he do that, he also took the freedom from me, freedom to just move around and be by myself. The torture, like what he had done to me, was not enough. And the court did what? They allowed him out. Do you know how they were able to actually get him? Because during COVID times, it was quite. That's another thing that happens with these cases. It suddenly becomes quiet. There's no update whatsoever. And if you are unlucky, you'll find a message from the police telling you that the case is withdrawn, when you had not even consented to withdrawing the case whatsoever. This guy sells alcohol illegally, and the warrant of arrest was issued for him, by the way. This guy sells alcohol illegally during COVID times. They find him. When they dig his fingerprints, are like, we've been wanting you, they hold him. Now he attends court. You know what he does after that? After the court date thing, he goes under the truck. Yeah, one of the truck that transports the prisoners, he gets under the truck because they're supposed to go back. He's not yet sentenced, but he's kept in jail, so he attends trial from jail. He goes under that truck, and the truck hamba. That's how he escapes again. I also don't know how then they got to I think arrest him again, but yeah, he was arrested, still attending court from jail.
So your determination in holding on, in being at every court case, in being basically where you are wanted to represent yourself, your determination is this guy cannot get away.
He cannot. And especially because he went ahead. You know, I also, outside of me and the lady from SMU, this guy violated 3 more women. I don't know to what extent, but I did know, the police did let us know that he actually did violate 3 more women. And those are the women that reported. How many more? So does a person like that deserve to live? I was not going to give up. I was not going to give up. I remember it was, my mom would come and say, Lorraine, do you even think it's worth it? My family, do you think? I was like, I am not. If it takes me 20 years, it's going to take me 20 years. I am not letting this guy go. When the sentencing happened 2 weeks back, thank goodness, thank the universe, thank God, the prosecutor called me to the stand one last time to actually tell them what is it that I would want. Sure. And then suddenly, because he's been found guilty, and he's like, he apologizes. If possible, he would like to speak to who? And say what to me? I went to court and I told them that this man is only apologizing because he knows that there is no going out. He is going to jail. It's not genuine. And if things were to go my way, this man would stay in jail for the rest of his life and serve the country, doing talks of GBV across the whole country, working for the state with police stations being kept there, if he's really sorry about it, if he's a person that wants to change his life. Otherwise, he's not getting anything from me. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to see him outside. He ruined my life, changed my life completely. And you know what? I was so grateful for that opportunity because I got to say what I wanted to say, and he heard me. You know what? He heard me.
Lorraine, where do you get your grit? You've got so much grit, determination, passion, fire. Where does it come from? Because I can only conclude, or I can only piece together that this that you are is honestly what enables you to push the boundaries. Where does it come from?
I don't know. Is it a personality trait? Is it a character? Is it what? But also, I think how I was brought up, So I'm very confident. I'm a very confident person. And I think that confidence has propelled me to pursue literally everything. Because when I think about something and I'm like, this has to be done, this will be done.
Yes.
You can see it through my work, how I present my work, how I present myself, how I show up, how I get into a boardroom full of men and I speak and they listen to me and they get me my deal. I am that person. I am I think it's confidence. I was brought up by women. My dad passed on when I was 9 years old. My mom and my grandmother, amazing women. I'm self-employed. I'm doing this. I employ people. I do this. I'm serving here. I'm doing this and that because I was raised by queens. Those two girls, my mom and my grandmother, do not play games. I've never seen a man take care of us at our home. When my dad died, like I had a nice childhood when my dad was alive, from a proper family, and things went south. Things went south and we had to start from scratch. And I saw my mom hold my grandmother's hand. I saw my grandmother hold my mom's hand, and they fought. They fought, those two women, to give us the life. The Lorraine that you see today is not by chance. I was shown by these women that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve it. You don't even need, not that there's anything wrong with, having a man. It's good, it's nice. But you can do it by yourself, girl. And those women taught me, they've held my hand till date. They are still holding my hand. So I think that I do draw strength from that. But I'm also, like I said, confidence. If I can tell people today, the viewers at home, confidence. You need to be confident in your pursuit. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to do it. And as scary as it is, because these things are scary as hell, even starting something, starting a foundation and leaving internal auditors from TUT, actually TUT is in the top 3 universities that produce amazing internal auditors in the whole of South Africa. So you get the top 5 internal auditing firms come source interns in our university. We're that good with internal auditing. So you know that had I gone there 5 years in corporate, I probably would have been, up there. But I was like, no, we're doing this. And it paid off. I'm doing work that I'm passionate about. I am changing lives. I encounter women who have nothing and I give them hope. I give them a voice and I make them find their power. We employ people. Like, things have turned out so beautifully. And because of what? Because of the confidence to forge ahead, the confidence to not miss a court date because you're like, I don't care. However long it takes, I know that there's no way it's not going to end. Somewhere, somehow, you'll figure last year
Sure.
So, yeah.
I could listen to you like all day because I feel that fiery energy and, it fuels me as well. And one other thing I want to kind of get into, I know that you personally, you've got a strong character, you're confident. Were there any remedies that you actually, let's say, took on, for example, like therapy or counseling? Because, certain people, we don't have, like I said, we don't have the same fighting spirit. Some people need someone to either, propel them forward. What were the things that you had to take on to help you really get your life back on track, your mental state, your emotional state, and so forth?
I'm not gonna lie. At the time when it had just happened, I did go to counseling sessions, but I felt like they were not effective at the time. So I quit. But like I mentioned, one of the biggest things one of the biggest things that has helped me through the journey is the people around me, my family. They've always been so supportive, even though at times I would hold back and they would not know what kinds of emotions I'm dealing with. I would keep to myself quite a lot, but I knew that I wasn't alone. So community is important. I met my husband at an earlier stage. He never missed a court date as well. He was always there by my side, and I can't even imagine how it was like for him to, see me like that and also see a person who did that to me every other day, but he has been the biggest support system. I have a community, which is very important, but I'm also a person that believes in, self-help books. I believe in personal development. I feel like you're not going anywhere if you're not actively developing yourself. And I mean, yes, we might have a strong character, but you need some of these things that are going to aid you, or like solidify who you are.
Yes.
And honestly, we are where we are today because of the things around us, what we get our minds into. So as soon as I learned that it all starts in here, in the mind, I also changed my perspective on a lot of things. Like when I spoke about forgiving myself, it also starts there, shifting from victim mentality to survivor, shifting from a person who is doubtful, because yes, doubt is natural. I mean, we all do doubt. We all do feel like, is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work?
Yeah.
But that thing that says, go for it. You'll never know unless you try. And also, you don't have to have everything figured out. Just take it a day and just start. Just do it. Everything else you'll figure out as you go. So those things, the community, the support system, the things around me, I also like to, show up beautifully. I like to look good. Listen, always, because also, how you show up, how you show up matters, because it also contributes to that confidence.
100%. I love that. Community support. And so many people often think that, because I'm from a certain background, because something like this has happened to me, I may not live what we call a normal life. But you're here, you've got your support system, you've got a family, you've got your husband. Because when such a thing happens, such a thing as sexual harassment, it puts so much shame that you start thinking, I'm not worthy. And I've seen or I've read of cases where a child, whether boy or girl, gets violated, and then they just think, I'm not worthy, and they just start throwing themselves, hoping the kids what would you say to someone at home who thinks, after what happened to me, one, no one is going to love me. Two, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I might as well drink, I might as well do drugs, I might as well sleep with whoever, I might as well just give up my body.
First of all, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry that you had to experience such a life-changing thing, because it is life-changing. And if you are not, I don't want to weigh strength, and I'm trying to just organize my words properly. I don't want to use if you're not strong enough. But there are people who, because as funny, and there are people who are able to deal with things. There are people who need help, like therapy. There are people who would need different mechanisms to actually pull them out of that place. Some people don't have support. Some people do, even, when I deal with gender-based violence cases every day, I interact with these communities every day. Some of these parents, you see that this parent has actually been so hurt by what happened to their child, but they don't know how to reach out. They don't know how to support their child sufficiently. Yes, they want to, but they can't, because also that is how we are in our community, in our Black communities. We don't really talk about things. We just take things as they are, even though you do and you know what, you don't blame them. That's why also forgiving your parents for some of these things comes in, because no one has it figured out. Even us now as adults, we don't have everything figured out. So I'm sorry that happened to you, but I can tell you that you look at me and see that there's actually life outside of something like this. You can choose today and decide today that, you know what, I am not my encounter. That happened to me, but I can still move on. And it's so easy to fall into addiction, because that's an escape. If you don't have an outlet, if you don't have people to talk to, if you don't have things to do, like a job or a business to run, where are you going to find your escape? Whether through substance abuse or through sex. And also the sex thing, the like having sex and just with anyone is a trauma response. Because you feel like, you've already taken from me, what more can you take? You are an entire person, you deserve love, number one, and you know where the love is going to come from. It's going to come from you first. Because you might want to go and source it out there, but you need to love yourself first. Forgive yourself. Have conversations with yourself. How is this thing making me feel? Why do I feel like I want to give my body? And you know what? Not everyone has these tools, because these are therapy tools, to be honest, having conversations with yourselves. But if you are out there, or you know someone, or you have experienced it yourself, have a conversation with yourself. It's uncomfortable at times, but that will direct you where you need to work, with what you need to work on. And if it's substance abuse, and it's not easy getting over addiction, to be honest, you need more than one intervention, because when by yourself, you're already there. You're already addicted. How are you going to get yourself out of it? But we have seen so many people. We have seen so many people get out of that. And I want to tell you that it can happen for you too. You are worthy of life. That a person raped me and he did that to me is not my identity.
It's not.
It is not my identity. Also, no one, like I said, no one goes out there and asks for these things. Exactly. So if you've not chosen for something to happen to you, I can pick an outfit like today. I've decided I want to style my hair like this. I want to wear this blazer and put a belt on and not wear makeup or do 1, 2, 3. That's a choice. And I live with the consequence of that. Because I made that choice. But something like that, no one chooses for it to happen to you. So be kind to yourself, extend grace to yourself, and know that you're not going to have it all figured out. And you're going to take it a day. And you know what? Some days you'll feel more fine, like I'm really fine, I've moved on from it. But some days will go, and that's okay. That's the grace that we are speaking about. It's life. And if you have gotten into sex addiction or sex work 1, 2, 3 because of what happened to you, you still can change your life around. I read it I just can't quote it verbatim, but I read somewhere that if you wake up, it means that God has given you a chance to be who you feel you want to be inside. Every day, if you've woken up, it means that today is the day to actually be that person that you have always dreamed. God has heard you and He has allowed you a chance to live, because there are people who did not wake up today. So even to you as a person, you want to be better. You're going to be. I can tell you are going to be better. Days will come and everything mara utoba right. That's all. That's all I can say.
I love it.
Yeah.
And this is why Vimovation exists. Yeah. Because I motivate people, and I just wanted other great minds, great individuals to be on the chair, so you can really take in how conquerors, how winners, and how people are saying, you know what, not today, not now, I'm fighting for my life. Let's get into the beauty aspect of it. I know you love yourself, and I love that you love yourself, because it's all about self-love.
Period.
Take us through some of the things that you do. I know you gym. I know you're also into skincare. Let me not ramble.
Yeah. I'm a girly girl. Let me tell you, I love things. I love the finer things in life, and God was released all of my millions already, so I can, wake up in Turks, wake up on a yacht, drinking nice exotic views every other day. That's what I love. I love to look good. I love hair. I love, like you said, skincare. I like to take care of my skin. I gym. I think that's really also good for my mental health, because I go into the gym, and I come out of the gym, I'm feeling so good. Like nothing can stop me. I like fashion. I like to look good. My style is a bit subtle, because I don't like to be, I like doing that. I like going to places and learning new things, interacting with people. One thing I think it's also something that came out of the incident, because I would keep to myself a lot.
Yeah.
Like I would keep to myself. I didn't have a lot of friends. Even my friends will tell. Even now, I still don't have a lot. Yes. But so as I grew older and I got into spaces, I realized that it's amazing meeting new people. They don't have to be in your pocket like that. But do not rob yourself of the opportunity of meeting amazing people, because amazing people exist out there. There are so many beautiful women that I have met. I mean, we are having a physical encounter today, but we've always been. Since how many years ago? I can't even remember. Exactly. And go out there, meet people, interact with people, have fun, drink. I love to have a glass of champagne. Yes. I love to have a Sauvignon Blanc every once in a while. Yeah. I like to cook. I like good food. I also like to know what goes on into my food. I think it's also that thing of getting my hands on things. I like to know what I am dealing with everywhere. So I like that.
Yes.
I love a good life. I love a good life. I love to be happy. I don't like negativity. Oh my goodness, I don't like that. It's okay, like I said, it's okay, Moko, but people who dwell into negative stuff stress me a lot, because why are you making that, like, what exactly? Why are you being so negative? Like, also, the way, also I'm so mindful about what I say, like people who say, oh, I'm broke. Don't stress me, please. Like, why are you affirming stuff? Like, when you say I am, also, yo, meaning go. When every day when you wake up in the morning, yo, meaning what? Do you know that that's what you are attracting into your life? You are literally what you say. So these things make me feel, if you feel good, you do good. That's literally how the universe works. What you take out is what you receive. This is why I focus on things that make me happy, because I know when I'm happy, I'm vibrating higher and more good things happen. And listen, baby, I'm good. You think, oh, she's always happy. No, she's not always happy. She just doesn't dwell much into negativity. I hate that.
So in terms of, like, I know that I'm a believer that gymming, taking care of yourself, exercising, whatever, meditating.
Yes, that's too. I forgot that I meditate as well.
It brings out the best in me. What does it do for you? Like, what does it do for you? Because there are so many DMs I get where a person is like, I don't know how to raise my vibrations. And because you are so used to doing it as a person, it's like, but it's so simple. And then when you try to explain it, some people don't get it.
They don't.
What are you talking about?
They don't.
What does it do for you to take care of yourself? What does it do for you to, take care of your skin? And also, another important thing, as someone who is a voice of a cause, and someone who is a leader of a foundation and organization, what role does taking care of yourself really play in how you show up?
Taking care of yourself is crucial. It should be there at the top of the list. And not only physically, taking care of yourself entirely, the company that you keep, because those people influence how your life turns out, basically, because the conversations that you have can impact you positively or negatively. So taking care of yourself is also taking care of your space, the people that you keep around you, very important. Like-minded people. I mean, yes, you want to learn from people, but like I said, negative people can also pull you in, njalo njalo. And then also, taking care of myself makes me feel good. When I feel good, I feel like I'm unstoppable. I can go now and open my laptop and draft a proposal and send it, because my spirit is so high. I feel like I can do anything. When I wake up, when I've taken care of my skin and I'm in the mirror and I'm like, girl, you're so beautiful. When I'm beautiful, I'm confident. When I'm confident, nothing can stop me. Do you know that? So take care of yourself. Go to the gym. When you go to the gym and you're like, hi, not that there's anything. Sorry to those who have a big tummy. I don't, period. Because I am actively doing it, and when I look at myself in the mirror and the clothes look so good on me, and I'm like, girl, listen, the world is your oyster, nothing can stop. So taking care of yourself and also learning how to pause. Because taking care of yourself is not always being busy. Learning how to pause, like pause. Take a breather. Allow yourself to know what emotion you're feeling at the time. And if you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay. Deal with it and then wake up tomorrow. It's all systems go.
You heard from herself. You show up for yourself.
Always.
You love yourself. You treat yourself well. Lorraine, I have one last thing to do with you, which is to hand you over a gift.
I love gifts. I love gifts.
To me, it is all about beauty and inspiration. So we've got our friends from this camp sent us a package, and I'll tell you what's in the package. If I can just get someone to assist me with one of the packages to do a handover.
Oh my goodness. I love gifts. It's also part of, you see, gifts make you feel good. So do give gifts, do receive.
So this is, your downtime beauty pack for nighttime. You can use it anytime, but most of the time, self-care, I think, hits at night, right? We've got a Curate sheet mask here, and then we've got the Ever's Beauty washer stove.
Oh my God, that one!
And yes, the Ever's Beauty Moringa oil. These are amazing products that you can really just use after a long day of fighting with those that want to violate others, And after just, taking your bath, your shower, just put on your sheet mask before or after the gua sha stone. It is meant to uplift
Thank you so
facial
much.
muscles, to rejuvenate your skin, to just give you back all that moisture that you lost during the day when you were fighting the whole world.
Yeah.
We are so proud of you here at Innovation.
Thank you.
And I truly hope that the listeners at home are inspired to show up for themselves. What Lorraine's journey really indicates is the fact that you can take the serpent and put it under your heel. You literally took what the enemy had planned for you and you put it under your heel. And I'm 100% sure, not that I know what God is up to, but I'm sure that God is smiling down on who you have become and what you do, your purpose, because you literally took this thing that the kingdom of darkness had planned to use against your life for you not to even think of ever rising up again. But you rose up, and you're not only rising up for yourself, you are rising up even for other women, for other people. We love you. We are so proud of you. And thank you for being on the Bumovation chair.
Yay, thank you so much. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. It's been amazing. I'm also really so proud of you because I know you. I tell you all the time that I can relate to what you speak about in your platforms all the time. I feel like we're so like-minded. We are so alike. And I'm so happy to actually be here and, engage your audience, but also really just, share with whoever needs to hear this message that your life can change around. Literally, you can be from the trenches, but if you set your mind to something, nothing can stop you. Literally nothing can stop you. So thank you so much for your platform. Thank you so much for the amazing gift. And I really do wish you all the best with the work that you do. You're doing amazing work. We touch lives differently. Physically there and, sometimes talking, but you're also doing an amazing thing, building people's confidence and also just pouring into people's lives. That's amazing work.
You make me shy.
Yeah, that's amazing work. That's amazing work. So thank you so much.
This is Bumovation, where beauty meets motivation. Please subscribe to this channel. Another inspiring episode. I hope you're going to go out there, fetch your life, show up for yourself, and believe in your own beauty, believe in your own intelligence, and be great.
Thank you.